From getting sucker punched during live streams to pulling off bizarre pranks in the hood. Here's some YouTubers who messed up with some real gangsters. Starting with probably one of the most controversial YouTubers right now, Neon.
Hey, look whose shoes we got. Got his ass lacking. Come on, bro. Got his ass lacking. Hey, what size y'all want?
That was a video of Neon allegedly getting jumped by gang members. But just like every other thing associated with his career, his fans believe it was all staged. You see, back when Neon, real name Rangesh Matama, still had around 200,000 subs on YouTube, he uploaded a video titled "Neon is Dying." The video claimed that Neon's brother was the one who uploaded it while claiming that Neon had suffered a seizure and had gotten a brain tumor. 2 days later, he published another video called "Neon's Final Words," where we see Neon in his room stating that he wanted to give his channel to other people because he didn't want to lose his content. And it all seemed so scripted with a little touch of very poor acting. And despite knowing that his fans had caught on to his lies, Neon still stated that he'd be going in for surgery, and if it didn't go well, he was going to bleed to death. On December 26, 2019, it was announced on Neon's channel that he was gone, and a compilation video of his best moments was uploaded. While these videos have now been deleted, we can assure you that they received a ton of backlash from the public. Seeing that ridiculous plot to harvest views for his videos had failed, he came out 5 days later, claiming that he was alive and it took him just 2 days to recover from his supposed brain tumor and seizure. So a ton of YouTubers would make videos lashing out on Neon for his ridiculous stunt, but even that wouldn't stop him from trying it one more time. November 14th, 2023. After getting himself involved in more moronic, clickbaity things than we can recall, Neon uploaded a video to his channel titled "Neon Gets Jumped by Punchmade Dev Live on Stream." Now in this video, Neon and Kentucky rapper Punchmade Dev were seen strolling along the streets at dawn. However, toward the end of a nearly 3-minute video, a random guy in a hoodie and sweatpants takes a cheap shot at Neon from behind, while Punchmade Dev joins in on the attack. Then the video abruptly cut, but his fans could once again see that this was a staged attack. How do you get jumped with your security team around, and like 5 other dudes present? And if you don't believe us, we're not the only ones who noticed this outrageously dumb stunt. Comments were flooding, saying that he was a jerk or faking that attack. One user wrote, "Neon should get an award for the most stage jumped ever," while another wrote, "This is getting sad and pathetic." But just like the boy who cried wolf, Neon actually got jumped and no one really believed him.
My nigga Neon!
In a video uploaded on TikTok, a group of guys wearing black jackets approached his home, with one of them punching his security multiple times before fleeing the scene. Neon could be seen by the driver's side of his car hiding as the incident unfolded. Then Neon would get jumped again by fellow YouTuber Fauci, who would attack him during an Adin Ross live stream.
Oh no, get on your hands and knees. I'm not, get on your hands and knees. Not doing it. Get on your hands and knees. Get on your hands and knees. Get on your hands and knees. Get on your hands and knees.
And while the second incident with Fauci seemed more real than the others, the case of Jack Doherty needed no convincing, as quite frankly, almost everyone wanted this degenerate to get beat up.
Oh my god. Then leave. Oh, you try to... You're next though once I drop your
Jack Doherty's probably the most annoying YouTuber and streamer we've come across. This guy rose to fame back in 2016 when he set up his channel under his name and posted his first video titled "Marker Flip Twice in a Row." This video earned him his first 100 subs and set up what everyone thought would be his positive growth on the platform. As time went on, he became more and more famous, earning millions of views per video, but also gathering a ton of enemies along the way. In 2017, Jack began uploading videos of doing the "Floor is Lava" challenge in Target and Walmart. This resulted him in getting booted out of many places. While his fans noticed his disturbing behavior, he would later move to LA with his family, pitching him as a good kid in a mad city, and also making him do more dumb stuff, most of which occurred during his live streams. In August 2023, Doherty was IRL streaming with Fauci and Neon, when Fauci threw water on Doherty for addressing him as a beta male.
Beta said, hey. Yo, you're a You're a little
Then Doherty, unwilling to stop, made further comments that resulted in him getting smacked by Fauci.
We're going back, dog. Now we can't box. There's a hole.
He's also had a feud with one of the island boys, where it appeared that one of them would smack him in the face.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We're cool. I'm good.
Now, what's sad about this incident is that just a few days prior, Jack was subjected to a massive assault by Izzy Prime at his own house. During a collaborative stream between Jack and Izzy, orchestrated a seemingly unprovoked attack by smacking Doherty in the face.
That's nice.
Yo! Yeah!
And that assault would be brought to the attention of local cops. But when asked if he wanted to press charges, Jack disagreed. Now keep in mind that these are just a few of many examples involving Doherty getting beaten up for simply being a jerk. But none of these can be compared to the beatdown he got from a complete stranger.
You got a shirt on over there.
Yeah. Your kids can't read, though. Your kids can't read, can they?
December 2023. Doherty was in this heated altercation with a man who was allegedly offended by a t-shirt worn by Doherty's bodyguard. After advising the creator and team to behave themselves around his kid, both parties got involved in a heated discussion, and when Doherty turned to walk away, he was jumped by a random old guy walking toward him. I mean, at this point, it's safe to say the name Doherty is synonymous to chaos, and while the same can be said about fellow YouTuber Zurka tends to take things to a more chaotic level.
Oh, boys.
John Zurka, probably one of the most controversial YouTubers and streamers out there. This guy rose to fame back in 2019 when he was invited to a Twitch stream by Ras Shalor. From there, Zurka made a name for himself as a just chatting content creator on Twitch and for his comedic content on YouTube. Now, his YouTube videos consisted of him talking about religion, politics, debates, gender, and possibly some comedy. He would criticize Andrew Tate on YouTube and Twitter, often talking about the Earth being flat, along with some other wild conspiracy theories. But after some time, Zurka began trending for the wrong reasons. Now, Zurka's been banned on Twitch a few times, the first being in 2019 for violating user policies, then for the second time in March 2021, after he clicked a photo of a girl in a bikini on stream for an extended period. After the ban, he said that he thought it'd be harmless because girls blow up on Twitch, wearing their bikinis in their living rooms, posing all for millions of dollars. Now, Zurka would move to another streaming platform, Kick, where he also got banned a couple of times. However, that came after he messed with Aiden Ross and fellow streamer HS Tiki-Taki. November 2023, Zurka caused a stir in the influencer community by making derogatory comments regarding HS Tiki-Taki's mother, as well as Aiden Ross's former partner, Pammy Baby. Zurka labeled Tiki-Taki as a it and called Aiden's mother a whore. He also claimed to have gotten it on with Aiden's former girlfriend Pammy when Pammy and Aiden were in a long-term relationship that ended in 2022. Zurka's comments directed at Tiki-Taki and Aiden considerably escalated their rivalry, with Zurka stating that he'll find Tiki-Taki and fight him on the streets. Zurka did indeed track down Mr. Tiki-Taki on the streets of Miami during a stream, but he ended up getting the beat down. At least that's what users are saying. During the altercation, Zurka walked up to Tiki-Taki, initiated the attack, and got put to the ground in less than a minute.
Chill! Oh my God. My God.
They would grapple on this concrete road before their fight was broken up. People ended up making fun of Zurka after this incident, with users saying things like, "Imagine coming prepared with the UFC gloves and provoking a drunk guy with his girl only to get embarrassed." Zurka's a perfect example of size doesn't matter if the person with size doesn't know how to fight. And way to embarrass yourself again, Zurka. Now, this street fight resulted in John being banned from Kick for a certain period. However, Johnny Somali's street fight not only led to his ban, but also put him at risk of spending time in jail.
All you have to say
Don't
is
grab nothing. Oh.
Ismail Ramsey Khaled, known by his alias Johnny Somali, has had a ton of controversies recorded on his live streams. This guy was born back in Somalia in 2000 before he and his family moved to the United States. He would later go to Arizona State University but drop out due to focus on full-time live streaming, beginning with his YouTube channel. Khaled mostly streamed himself as a tourist traveling in different countries, but while this made him famous, it earned him a lot of backlash and punches to the face. When he went to Japan, Khaled went went all anti-Japanese against those people over there, which included comments about the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and threats of bombing Japan with nuclear weapons. Now, several times after these comments were made, he was assaulted and called racial slurs by some of the locals who recognized him in public. On one occasion, he was said to have been attacked by a member of the Yakuza, who came from behind him to choke him out and beat the heck out of him.
Hey, all my real hop in Discord right now. Hop in Discord. Oh, whoa, what the? Yo, you tripping, nigga?
Nevertheless, Khaled didn't quit his annoying stunts. June 2023, this guy went to Tokyo Disney Resort and played music with racist lyrics while recording the reactions of guests without their permission. 2 months later, he went to a construction site in Osaka where he yelled Fukushima at the construction workers. He also got into an altercation with a few workers, leading to his arrest on suspicion of trespassing. This guy was in jail for a few months before he appeared at the Osaka District Court. He was asked by the court to pay a fine of 200,000 yen, which equals about $1,400. While that's definitely not going to be a problem for Khaled, the case hasn't completely been dismissed, and Khaled himself has stated that he'd stop IRL streaming. So it's pretty clear maybe Khaled needed some legal problems to calm down on his racial slurs. But for the streamer Garrett, a few punches to the face did the trick.
What do you want? What do you want? Problem. What do you want? What do you want? Go.
South Korean YouTuber and streamer Garrett was doing an IRL stream while on the beach in Bangkok. However, during the broadcast, Garrett got into this heated argument with a local who seemed to be upset that he may have been filmed, something many streamers experience during IRL broadcasts. Things escalated pretty quick, with Garrett yelling "F you" at the man before walking away, but that probably just provoked the man further. After turning the camera onto himself and continuing to wander the beach, the streamer was called over by the man yet again. This time it was clear the situation had reached a boiling point, with Garrett getting into the man's personal space in a head-to-head confrontation. Moments later, the streamer was smacked in the head by someone else, distracting him and letting the original attacker land a cheap shot. This left Garrett with a bloody face and an injured nose. Luckily, Garrett was talked out of retaliating, so things didn't explode into an all-out brawl on the beach. Still, the damage had been done, but the worst was yet to come. Both the assailants and Garrett were picked up by cops and taken to the station. Garrett kept his camera rolling throughout the whole time, even after the cops told him to cut that video. Now, of course, you can argue that both parties were wrong for their actions, but what no one saw coming was Garrett getting fined by these cops. It really made no sense. He was the one assaulted and he was the one who got fined. Some of his viewers tagged their act as extortion. Now, speaking of extortion, Crypto King got beat up for not only extorting over $40 million from his investors, but for also losing every single penny of it in the crypto market.
I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't want to or mean to ruin anybody's life. When the money was coming in, I was failing to tell people that I'd lost a lot of it.
August 9th, 2022, Aiden Platursky, a 23-year-old so-called crypto king from Ontario, was declared bankrupt by the Ontario Superior Court of Justice. Apparently, Aiden had taken millions of dollars from investors, claiming to invest their money into the crypto market, but all he actually did was fund his luxurious lifestyle. Now, after flying around the world in private jets and failing to deliver the promised return on investment, the world soon realized that this so-called crypto investment was a well-elaborated Ponzi scheme. And we'll explain how. One of his investors, Diane Moore, had invested $60,000 from her grandchildren's trust fund after meeting Platursky through someone she had known for years. The terms of Moore's investment included a 70-30 split on any capital gains, with her getting 70 and 30 for Platursky. The investment contract also stated that the initial investment would be paid back in full if it was lost, and that she'd be given a 10 to 20% gain bi-weekly. We all know it sounds sus, but anyway, now that the money's actually lost, Mrs. Moore is one of around 140 investors claiming to be owed $35 million. After Aiden was caught, 2 McLarens, 2 Beamers, and a Lambo was seized, making up just around $2 million. Unfortunately, this fell short of how much he actually owed investors, given the reason why he was brutally attacked and beaten up. Aiden owned 11 vehicles, was leasing 4 other luxury cars, flew on private jets with his girlfriend and family, and was paying $45,000 a month for rent on a lakeshore mansion in Burlington, Ontario. It made no sense, and it really seemed like he never actually did any investing with the money. December 2022, Aiden Pletersky was allegedly abducted from downtown Toronto, tortured, and beaten for about 3 days as his kidnappers demanded a $3 million ransom. With all his assets frozen worldwide, there was essentially no way to pay him off. So this guy was forced to make a video explaining what happened to his investors' funds. In that 12-minute video, Aiden began narrating how he made a lot of money investing in crypto back in 2020 and then decided to expand his portfolio by inviting friends and family to invest. However, the following year, the crypto market tanked and he lost a shitload of money, and instead of telling everybody about it, he tried to recoup his losses but in turn lost more. Pletersky then apologized to investors in a raspy voice while rocking back and forth in front of a wall.
All the creditors, everything that happened is my fault. I'm not going to put the blame on anybody else. I'm not going to try to put the blame on anybody else. I feel humiliated. I feel disgusted in my actions. I feel disgusted in what I did.
His right eye was swollen, while his entire face was covered with bruises. After he was released, Aiden gave more details on what had happened in those 3 days. He claimed he was waterboarded, beaten with sticks, and mocked with a firing squad type of execution. 6 months later, 4 men were arrested for Aiden's abduction, with one of them, 39-year-old Ackle Haywood, alleged to have invested $740,000 with Pletersky. I mean, that's a lot of money. But it's probably the same amount of money YouTuber Charles Veach got to spend on hospital bills after suffering a bloody beatdown at a mall in Manchester.
Stop it. No.
Charles Veach is one of the most controversial British YouTubers out there, and he ain't even British. Veach was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to a wealthy family in the oil business, and as he grew older, he would move to Scotland, where he attended Edinburgh Academy before receiving a Master of Arts with honors in philosophy from that same academy. Once he graduated, he joined the British Territorial Army, and soon enough he became a YouTuber. Now listen closely, because this is where the story kind of takes a dramatic twist. Unlike other YouTubers who make vlogs and a wide variety of content, Veach used his channel to document protests and conspiracy theories. One of his most viral and controversial videos involved him arguing with law enforcement, who instructed him to not record footage outside the Manchester town hall. Stars such as Matthew McFadden and Jerome Flynn were spotted at the town hall during filming for a crime drama. But when Veach over here tried to record footage of the TV set, he was told by a man claiming to be a police officer that he had no right to film there. Mr. Veach caught that confrontation and uploaded it titled, "Angry Fake Cop Attacks Me on Public Street." The video went viral, getting millions of views in a very short period of time. And although certain members of the public claimed that he had a right to film, the cops thought otherwise. And probably seeing the success of that video, Veach got inspired to do it again. But this time, it didn't end so well for him. November 5th, 2023, Veach started filming a group of young men who he claimed were being spoken to by a plainclothes cop. Now, he claimed the group was part of a fake charity scam and said that one of the men threatened him before he pushed him back. Several young men then started walking up the escalator to catch Veach. The video then cuts to footage of security staff grappling with the young man holding a chair. And the next thing we know, Veach was knocked out with his camera falling out of his hand. The footage was completely bizarre, and no one really knows exactly how this whole thing started. You know, maybe those guys were actual gangsters. We don't know. But what we do know is that famous YouTuber and streamer Sneeko got into a fight with a real gangster. And I'm talking about one of the baddest men on the planet, Sean Strickland. Sneeko moved from being one of the most loved YouTubers out there to being banned from the platform after getting involved in a lot of controversy. On his main channel, Sneeko started out by uploading gameplay commentary videos before switching to commentary with his popular series known as Internet Rant. He eventually started making more motivational content with many different topics relating to life. And at the time, his most famous video was the "Would You Say the N-Word for $1" video, where he went around the street interviewing random strangers asking them if they would say that N-word for $1. Now, after achieving a good level of success with that video, Sneeko went on to create a second channel where he aired his controversial opinions. Now, on this channel, he expressed his opposing views on subjects like feminism and beliefs perceived as woke. He also supported conspiracy theories heavily inspired by controversial figures like Andrew Tate and Kanye West. This led both channels to getting banned from YouTube, even though his first channel hadn't received any strikes. One of his biggest controversies involved him praising the French movie Cuties. Now, in case you didn't know, this movie was a bunch of girls twerking in sexual situations all throughout. And Sneeko claimed that this movie was not girls, but the rest of social media thought it was. He was so out of pocket. He somehow managed to piss off Mr. Beast. I mean, the guy obviously needed to be checked, and there was no better person to do so than former UFC middleweight champion, Sean Strickland. Sean and Sneeko met at this event in Las Vegas, and the next day Sneeko came out to spar with him, even though it was more of an actual fight, and the full event streamed on Sneeko's Rumble channel. Strickland either failed to notice or chose to ignore the numerous white towels being thrown into the cage as he continued his attacks. The first 3 minutes of this sparring session saw Strickland almost antagonizing the influencer, opting to not throw a punch, and instead lead a patronizing commentary on how Sneeko was tough for an influencer. But when that 3-minute grace period was over, Strickland took no mercy on his opponent, combining his melting pot of combat skills to inflict huge damage on Sneeko. And just before Strickland could separate Sneeko's consciousness from his body, they were both separated. The full video was posted on YouTube, and the comment section went wild, with users thanking Strickland for putting Sneeko in check. One wrote, "Sneeko was just happy to have a father figure for 5 minutes. Gotta keep that mouth shut next time, son." Sneeko would have been gone if Sean was actually fighting. And while Sneeko was out there taking shots to the body, another YouTuber, Tanner Cook, was getting shot for pulling off an outrageous prank. April 2nd, 2023, Cook was shot in this Virginia mall after attempting to play what he called a simple practical joke on a man who wasn't down for his shenanigans. Mr. Cook here is a member of the Classified Goons, a collective known for their prank videos that have made millions of views on TikTok and YouTube. Now, their content is usually lighthearted and sometimes immature. One notable video features popular streamer Gideon, where he and a member of the Goons walk through stores, creating drama by pointing out the camera person recording unsuspecting individuals. Now, while such content may appeal to a specific audience, it really didn't amuse 31-year-old Alan W. Coley. Now, this all happened when Cook used Google Translate to convey an insult, "I think you smell," to Coley, who was at a mall picking up a DoorDash order. Now, despite Coley's repeated request to be left alone and his attempt to swat the phone away, Cook persisted, getting uncomfortably close to him. This prompted Coley to take out his gun and shoot Cook in the stomach. Right away, a bystander would call police, who arrived swiftly to arrest Coley. Cook was rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery and survived the attack. So the investigation would look into Cook's behavior, revealing a pattern of harassing individuals for the sake of his pranks. Now, Cook would do all kinds of things, including pretending to vomit on a ride-sharing driver, intruding into restricted areas of fast food restaurants, and even bothering shoppers in stores. One person aggressively charged towards the camera in response to a prank, while another time a manager would call the police on him. Essentially, Cook's videos aim to elicit dramatic reactions from people for the sake of views. Meanwhile, Coley's legal situation took a surprising turn during his trial. Despite facing charges like aggravated malicious wounding, shooting in the commission of a felony, and discharging a firearm within an occupied building, Coley was ultimately acquitted. His defense attorney, Adam Pullard, argued that Cook's behavior, designed to provoke reactions for his YouTube channel, was menacing and prompted Coley's act of self-defense. Pullard further contended that Cook's pranks were not intended to merely entertain, but rather to confuse people for the sake of generating views, emphasizing the serious consequences of such actions. The outcome of this trial underscored the blurred lines between online entertainment and real-life ramifications. So I guess it's safe to say that Tanner Cook took the L on this one, but he should be grateful, because when YouTuber Timothy Wils tried orchestrating such a menacing prank, he was killed.
A man shot someone during what police are calling a fake robbery. They say it was all for a YouTube video.
February 5th, 2021, tragedy struck in Nashville, Tennessee, when 20-year-old Tim Wilkes orchestrated a prank that altered the course of his life forever. At 9:30 p.m. on that fateful evening, Timothy and a friend armed themselves with butcher knives with the intention of filming prank robbery videos. Now, their plan was to capture people's reactions and pretend to hold them at knife point. As the setting for their fake crime, they chose the Urban Air Trampoline and Adventure Park parking lot. Upon arriving, they would target a group of men to initiate their prank. Carrying their knives, they would approach this unsuspecting group, one of whom was 23-year-old David Starnes Jr., who happened to have a gun on him. Completely unaware that he was the subject of a prank, Starnes felt threatened and reacted by fatally shooting Timothy, instantly ending his life while allowing his friend to escape unharmed. When Tim's camera crew later came up to Starnes and told him it was all a prank, Starnes remained at the scene, while others fled before the cops came. Minutes later, police arrived, finding Starnes with the murder weapon and Timothy receiving medical attention from emergency services. Now, Starnes cooperated with authorities, asserting that he had acted in self-defense, as he genuinely believed his life was in danger. His assertion was supported by legal experts, who recognized the seriousness of the situation, considering past times of similar pranks gone wrong. As the investigations unfolded, no charges were filed against David Starnes Jr. However, Timothy's friend, the accomplice in the prank, was expected to face legal repercussions for his involvement. Yet, as of the time of this incident, he remained unidentified and uncharged. In the aftermath of the fatal shooting, Timothy's grandmother, Shirley Berry, expressed shock at his YouTube endeavors, emphasizing the need for caution in the pursuit of social media fame. Now, despite the tragedy, she hoped that others would learn from Timothy's unfortunate fate and become more mindful of the risks associated with seeking online fame.